Hi, y'all. It's amazing to me how versatile pork rinds can be, and I think it's kind of humorous, but I make a sort of candy out of them, and these are Turkey Creek. It's a 3.5 ounce bag, and they're plain. I'm going to start out toasting some coconut. This is unsweetened coconut. It'll say so on the bag, and unsweetened is 1 net carb for 2 tablespoons. It's 3 total carbohydrates, 2 of them are fiber, so it's a really great food for us. It is, let's see, I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup. I've got my measuring cup here, and there are 4 tablespoons in here, so this will have 2 net carbs. And I'm just going to fill up my 1/4 cup and alright, that's it, and I'm putting it on a little toasting dish I have here, spreading it out. This is just going to add a little more crunch to the top, and I'm going to put that in my toaster oven. I'm just going to push, I'm not going to set the temperature, I'm just going to push down the toast thing. If it gets brown enough, that's fine, and if it doesn't, I'll do it again in a little bit. I'm going to show you what I do with the pork rinds, and this is going to be kind of funny, but you can get a little exercise with your pork rinds, and you can work out some of your aggression. I'll be right back to show you how that works. Okay, you are now in my floor, and here are my shoes. This is my pork rinds. What I'm going to do is, usually there's a wider band at the top and a narrower one at the bottom. And so almost all packages I open it from the bottom, and I'm only going to open about halfway. I'm just doing this so that the air has a place to escape. That's good enough. Alright, now what I'm going to do is shake my pork rinds down and carefully lay them on the floor. With my right foot, I'm going to step over the part that I just tore open. And let me move this a little bit because I want you to get the full effect of how good this can be. Okay, I'm going to step over the part that I just tore open and hold it. Now, I'm not closing off all of the air because my shoe is curved. What I'm going to start doing is with my left foot, I'm going to start doing my exercises, and I'm going to crunch this and tapping on it basically with the ball of the foot. And you want to do this with your shoes on because pork rinds are kind of sharp. And I liken this to how ladies used to crush grapes for wine. For me, my pork rinds are wine. They're that special. And I'm just going to crunch. And you can see they'll try to come out the end if you're not careful. So shake them back down. You'll get a little in your floor, but that's like exfoliating, you know, for your linoleum. And you shake them back down and step on it again, right foot. And you can turn this around so you get equal exercise on both sides. And you just continue crunching until you get them in pretty small bits, fine powder here and there. Now you see, if I hadn't torn that open, I would step on here and bust that, and that just causes anxiety, and that's you know, bad for losing weight, raises cortisol or something. So that's about good enough. And you know, breathe it out, take a little walk, you know, enjoy your exercise routine. Okay, I wanted to show you that I over toasted my coconut. And, you know, you can't eat this, but what you can do with this is make mulch out of it. You know, go ahead and put it out in your garden. I'll be right back. And I'm back again. Alright, you can see my my pork rinds are fairly crunched up. There's some bigger pieces, but that'll be okay. I've got 5 tablespoons of butter here. This is salted. I just like salted. Some people don't if you're using salty things, and this got a lot of salt in it. So you wouldn't need salted. But this is 5 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to need some peanut butter. This is regular. I don't recommend this. If you will get the natural peanut butter that and Smucker's is my favorite one, and get it that has no added sugar. This does have added sugar. It's just what I have on hand. this is sugar-free maple syrup. And I will need 1/4 of a cup of that. Alright. Oh, see, I'm burning my coconut again. Okay, sorry, I burned my coconut again. I've just put it on the lowest setting, you know, but I don't always use it, so this is different. I've put in 1/4 of a cup of sugar-free maple syrup in with my 5 tablespoons of butter. I'm also going to use 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And I just scoop it and, you know, level it off on the side as best, you know, get it overfilled, and then scrape. And that's 1. And here's 2. Now you can use more peanut butter. It's kind of dependent on your taste, but keep in mind that you are going to add carbs every time. And what I do is 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 5 tablespoons of butter. I make sure that I've got 7 tablespoons total of those 2 things. So if I add another tablespoon of peanut butter, I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of butter out. So then it would be 4 tablespoons butter, 3 tablespoons peanut butter. Alright. These are my wet ingredients, and I'm going to microwave this for about 30 or 40 seconds until the butter is completely melted. You can see things are steaming as I start to stir. This will melt a little bit more. I can use a scraper or a rubber spatula, or a spoon. Let's see, it melts, as is fine. Alright, so I'll lay that for a minute. This is plain baking cocoa, baking chocolate, not the sweetened kind. And I'm going to start out with 3 tablespoons of this, and I'm just tapping it on the side to level it out, basically. And I want another teaspoon in here, and it could be 2 teaspoons. It depends on how chocolatey you want, but I found that 4 tablespoons was too many. So that's what I came up with. And I'm going to get a fork. It's just easier for me to mix with a fork. And mix this in a little bit. At this point, you could stop here once it's mixed in and pour this in a dish, say a 8x8, or maybe even a loaf pan. What are they, like 4x8? And you would have something like a fudge. Alright, this is usually not quite sweet enough, so I add, this is Truvia, and I add a teaspoon of Truvia to the mix. I have added a teaspoon of vanilla in here. I didn't find it needed it. Now, I'm going to put my pork rinds in, and this is, I'll go ahead and open the rest of it, and I just pour them in. And what's good about the fork is I can use it to break up if there are still any larger chunks. And it doesn't look like there's going to be enough wet ingredients to get these wet, but it does. Just keep stirring. Awesome. And I'm poking the big ones down. About a minute lapsed. Now one thing I've done is add just half the amount of pork rinds. Another thing is I've doubled all of the rest of the ingredients and added 1 bag. But I like it this way just as well. So, this is kind of a loose mixture. And I've got a cookie sheet lined with foil over here. And I'm just going to dump it on here, kind of in one spot. I have spooned this, or you can spoon this out and, you know, make clusters with it. And I just use my hands. You can use foil, or as a matter of fact, I can fold this over and do it. You can use a spatula and just press it down and you push it together around the sides. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's pork rind candy. That is just hilarious to me. And you get some big pieces, just, you know, scooch them over in the side, in the middle. Scooch. Do you believe that's a word? I'm just patting this into one big bar, basically. And I think I've got about 7 inches by 9 inches here, so whatever works. And now I can take my coconut that I toasted. I put it on toast on the very lowest setting and checked it at 1 minute before it was done. And I think it's still warm. So I'm going to take it out and sprinkle it over the top. Spread this out. I find it sweet enough as is. You may want to sprinkle a teaspoon of Truvia over the top of it. And I'm going to wash my hands. From here, this will go in my freezer for about 30 minutes. And I'm going to take it out, and then I will cut it into squares and then freeze it the rest of the way. Alright, this has been in the freezer a little more than 30 minutes, and I wanted to show you how I cut this. Again, just always clean hands, and you're the one eating it, so what I don't know what this knife is called. I call it big knife, and I'm putting this down at the point, and don't wrap your fingers, of course, keep them out, and press. And you'll lay it down this way, and then press, and you're just going to rock it back and forth, pressing, and it's all the way through. And I'm just going to continue that. And I'll start in the middle, so that'll be good and even. And again, you can leave them this size. I've got 8 pieces here, or this is usually what I do, make them square. You can hear them crunching. The pork rinds do soften up a little bit. The closest thing there are a couple things that I can think of that are close to the texture of this. One would be sort of like a Rice Krispie treat, but it's, but there's nothing like someone talking and holding a knife. I'm just going to put that down. And the other would be something like the crisp candy bar. Let me pick up a piece, and this is pretty frozen. I won't have to put it back in the freezer, but I'm going to see if you can see this. That's pretty much what it looks like. Got some of my coconut falling off the bottom, but to me they're very good. You can add nuts to these or whatever you like. I'm going to put this back in the freezer for a little bit, but otherwise I'm done, and I will have the carb count at the end of this. Thanks.